Hi guys, this is SuperBoo3 and today we are going to pop the Platinum Trophy on Bioshock. So I'm just going to upgrade that weapon that I said I wasn't going to upgrade last time. I just reloaded that save. And you should see that I will pop the Platinum right now. Just give it one moment to pop. There we go. And that is the Platinum Trophy. I'm just going to do a quick talk over the rest of the game. Just to clarify, I was doing that as part of our We Play group. We just make a point of syncing trophies all at the same time, just because it looks kind of cool on the leaderboard. Okay, so now that I've beaten the game, I thought I'd just do a quick overview of my thoughts on the game. And I just wanted to say that I mean, the game's been an extremely fun experience. I would highly recommend it to absolutely everyone. I don't think that any people who are put off by simple things like the game being, say, an FPS, or even just thinking that the game is an FPS, should ignore it, because the game's environment, its story, there's so much to it, especially when you start exploring things like the audio diaries. As I was saying, the audio diaries add just a lot of things to the experience. Like, you get to learn a lot. I also just lower the difficulty down to easy while I was talking, because I was just curious as to how different things were. I mean, having played it in Survivor difficulty, I would actually suggest that unless you're very comfortable with the game, I would probably say don't play it on Survivor difficulty at all. Oh my god, I can't believe how easy it was to take out a Big Daddy. And also, while I'm at it, I'm just kind of curious as to what happens if you harvest a little sister. So let's just check what that happens there. And that seems relatively unpleasant. I'm guessing you'd also get a different ending if you killed little sisters as well. So actually having a save like this might be an interesting way to see the other endings, and I might upload that. Just let me know if you're interested, and I'll probably put that up as well. So yeah, as I was saying, just because of the experience of the game, you want to play this regardless of your attitude towards first-person shooters, because the game definitely has a significant number of RPG elements. The way plasmids work, there's definitely multiple ways that you can play this game, and I certainly would recommend doing that. I also just realised the game's got an unlock frame rate feature, which makes the game run at a much higher frame rate, but is supposed to affect the graphical quality. So, I mean, I don't know if you can notice if the visuals have degraded in quality or the frame rate change at all, because of how YouTube videos work. But to me, I think I could play it at this speed, but the game definitely looks kind of different. Don't worry about pickups and stuff, because all of that's been covered in the previous videos. What I'm just grabbing things as I'm walking around because I can't help it. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about some of the other things that happened throughout the game. In terms of the big plot points, I'm just going to mention that there will be spoilers ahead now. When we're talking about things like the events with Andrew Ryan, we definitely saw quite a significant significant, interesting story points that I honestly was kind of surprised by, because I didn't really see that surprise coming at all. I mean, I did definitely notice the oddities in speech pattern of Atlas, but I certainly wouldn't have necessarily attributed that to anything ulterior. And honestly, I was shocked by that, and the whole way that scene's done is it's done in a completely horrific way, which makes you even question how you play the game in some senses, because why are we even doing a lot of the things that we do in games like Bioshock? I mean, we just blindly follow orders, but how are we actually different to the protagonist of this game? I mean, everything he's done is exactly how we would have done anyway. He doesn't even need to have said the key phrase or anything, and we would have done it. So in some ways we are the character in this game. I don't even know if they gave him his name. I don't recall if they said his name or not. But yeah, so that's the thing with how the game is. It's really crazy that there's this whole extra thing about in the game that it kind of dissects what video games there are themselves. I'm aware how pretentious that sounds, and I do apologise because I can't stand that kind of pretension when, you know, people talking about games start making out games can be deep and meaningful. But I think this is one of the rare games where there actually was something more to that. I mean, we're clearly not blindly seeing that. That is something which we realise as we're playing it. I mean, I can't say if Levine, who was the guy who made this, Ken Levine or Levine, sorry, I don't know the pronunciation. I'm not sure where he's from. You know, obviously different countries, different pronunciations, but he could have intentionally been going for that. I probably need to read up on that, but if he was, it's genius. I mean, it is absolutely brilliant to think like that, and it just only gets me extremely excited about what Bioshock Infinite might actually show us. It is that, I gotta say, that one scene was probably one of the most shocking scenes I've seen this generation in games. I mean, yeah, I apologise, I didn't really convey that so well through my voice. I was kind of just a bit gobsmacked, and I wasn't quite sure what to say on the whole matter. All I know is now, looking back on it, I'm just still thinking, wow, I can't believe that happened, and I can't believe that a guy who I was kind of annoyed with, I felt so bad about killing. I mean, how many games can I say ever made me think that? I don't think there's many whatsoever, if any at all. I don't even normally think about the consequences of killing people in games, and yes, I know that sounds terrible, but in games where there's a lot of shooting and killing, you don't really think about it. And whenever there's a choice, I spare people, but this time they made it look like you almost had a choice, and then they removed that option for you, and you just had to deal with it. I mean, it's just nuts. There doesn't seem to be a lot of enemies walking around either at the moment. I didn't realise there was like a limit to how many people could be around. Well, let's take out that guy. But yeah, I seriously would never have realised some of those things, and I love the game for it.
You know, you should be thanking me.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, so I'm just going to talk about stuff like levels. I mean, I think the actual Rapture theme of the underwater town was actually done well, because really I just kind of felt like I was stuck in the 1950s or 1960s whenever this game's set, and I quite enjoyed that. It weirdly kind of reminds me of Fallout. I'm not sure if I'm being odd by saying that, but something about this definitely made me think Fallout, and I think that was kind of an extra cool little thing. Just because I like that kind of, I like the theme in that. It really felt me feel the time era, and everything in the game kind of shows that and represents it so well. It's just a nice thing to look at. Alright, so okay, so I've talked about that. The visuals are interesting. I mean, given how old the game is, I think the visuals do hold up pretty well. They're not overly detailed, like some of the more newer releases, but there's definitely enough pattern there. I mean, look, the textures don't look too bad up close, and from a distance, and while I'm running around, they certainly look fine. I mean, you can see the detail on the gun barrel there, and I think that looks decent enough as well. They're definitely at a level that won't affect your gaming experience whatsoever, despite this being quite an early title on the PS3. The sound quality and voice acting I thought was decent and great throughout the game. You know, we've already commented on how the story is. The final boss, I gotta say, he was a bit weaker than I expected, and in that way it's kind of disappointing. But then we've got to also keep in mind, I used like 7 health packs on him, and you know, I was armed to the teeth. I literally had everything. You saw how much excess money I had. I was throwing money around like nobody's business. I was even using buyouts on hacks, which is just not particularly sensible, but I didn't really care. So yeah, I mean, I think that says it all in terms of what the gameplay was like. I mean, each of the boss encounters was significant enough to be a threat. The splicers, you know, I will actually say the thug splicers were the ones who probably gave me the biggest trouble, but that was because of my fighting tactics. I think if I went the frozen route with the frozen wrench and winter blast, I would have probably been wrecking those easily. But funnily enough, because everything was a one-hit headshot with the crossbow and the lightning combo that I was using, that ultimately ended up being my most challenging enemy. It's hilarious to think that the very first enemy could end up being the one that was trouble because they became immune to lightning. Well, I think I've probably discussed most things that have a point. Oh yeah, I will be, you know, as I said, this was part of a group playthrough. We are going to be starting Bioshock Infinite. Now, if you're watching this, I think it would be great if you could join, if you genuinely think that this is your kind of thing. You're welcome to join. It will be starting within the next 2 or 3 days from when this video is posted, so do take a look. So we'd be starting on about August the 4th, I think we should be starting, and that's in 2015. In case you happen to be watching this video in a year's time, I don't know how popular I'm going to be on YouTube in that time. Maybe my videos are going to just disappear into obscurity. Fingers crossed they don't, but hey, I'm not going to be overly optimistic, let's put it that way. Oh yeah, also let me know how this was as a guide, as in if you managed to find all the collectibles without too much trouble. If you know, if things were clear, what I can improve. I'm going to be doing the Bioshock Infinite one, which I have learned a lot from this playthrough and some of the other group playthroughs that I'm running. So I think my Bioshock Infinite one will be infinitely more. Yeah, sorry about the horrible pun there. But it'll be infinitely more clearer. I'll be trying to use timestamps throughout so that it's very easy for you to find collectibles and locations. From what I've been told though, some collectibles, though they have the same spawning points, might be randomized. I'm not sure how accurate that is, and maybe I've misread what I've been told, but anyway, fingers crossed. Wow, he's so weak on this difficulty. But yeah, fingers crossed. Sorry, I'm apologising for the ums and ahs because I literally have no clue what I'm saying at this point, and I'm trying to make sure I've covered everything I thought was sensible. I did leave quite large amounts of discussion in the threads, which I've done on PSN profiles for this. Oh yeah, I'm on Twitter now, so I'm SuperBoo the Third on Twitter. Unfortunately, someone's using my name on Twitter already, which was very unfortunate and kind of sucks. But SuperBoo the Third was a running gag I had. with some of my mates, so that's kind of cool to actually have that as my Twitter handle. But yeah, we did the group playthrough with everyone, and everyone seemed to genuinely have a lot of fun with it. So, you know, if there's more people who want to join in with this kind of thing, I think the more people in the group, the more fun we can have. If you have problems waiting up for people while playing a game, I would advise you to stay away from us. Like, if you want to rush through games, terrible idea to stick with a group like us. And if you don't intend to finish the game, or you think you can't commit to any kind of group activity, just don't join either. I mean, you're welcome to join in on discussions as long as you're not going to spoil things, but just be sensible. I will be saying that I think, as much as I like this, the problem was playing on Survivor difficulty. Okay, if you play on Survivor difficulty and you save regularly, this game, no problem whatsoever. You can enjoy it. You can, you know, your saves. You'll be saving so often that you can just continue on from where you were without much of a hitch. If you're like me and don't save very often, you'll have to replay the whole area from the beginning, and I did that 2 or 3 times, and it, you know, it's why I sometimes just looked like I knew exactly where I was going on some of the videos, because I did die, but I didn't bother re-showing that because it takes ages to sometimes walk through these areas, and I didn't want to force people to see me walk through the same place twice, because that's not interesting. But yeah, I mean, this game was hard. I mean, I hope I didn't make it look overly easy, but the fact was, if you use correct tactics, you could get through things, and if you were quick on the heal button, again, you could get through things easily as well. I mean, it's funny to think of the kind of little things that make such a big difference in playing games, like being able to hit the heal quickly. But it really does make a big difference. And if you're sensible with rations and stuff, I mean, the thing is, even at this point, I had so much excess material, but I was very paranoid about the inventing trophy, thinking I wouldn't have enough resources, but I clearly did, because you saw me just reel off a bunch of stuff and unlock the trophy on the spot. But yeah, I think this is an absolutely amazing game, and I think everyone should experience Bioshock at least once. And I hope that this has helped you guys. You know, I really appreciate every single person who watches one of my videos, because you know what, without you guys I wouldn't even have a channel, and there would be no point in me even doing this. But you know, at first I was just doing this just for fun, but now I actually realise how cool it is to see comments on my videos when people are genuinely enjoying the experience. And you know, some people have criticised how I'm doing certain things on certain videos, and I've tried my best to listen to those comments and do my best to improve them, because I want a decent YouTube channel which everyone can appreciate. I'll be doing another revamping my welcome to the to my channel video, as well as doing a thank you video. I think when I've hit 400 or 500 subscribers, I'm gonna have to. I think I should wait till 500 subscribers, because that seems like a better number. And maybe I'll arrange some kind of Q&A on Twitter or something. So if anyone wants to ask me, I think they're more than welcome to. I would. Yeah. So anyway, so guys, thanks. If you haven't played Bioshock, make sure you play it. Feel free to use my guide too, and until next time guys, thanks for watching, and bye.